From Taiwan, I'm Liao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's export orders have grown for the fourth month in a row. The economy ministry says orders in June reached over $45 billion US. That's 3.1% higher than the same month last year. But the ministry says overall second quarter growth was lower than expected, citing relatively weak demand for electronics. Hospitals and clinics in southeastern Taiwan are banding together to waive fees for victims of crime. John Van Trieste has this story.
4 hospitals and 35 clinics from across Taiwan Southeast have signed an agreement to help victims of crime. They're reducing or even cutting registration fees altogether, a small step toward financially helping the 100 or so people in the region that the local Taitung County considers as crime victims. Taiwan law provides compensation to victims of bodily harm or sexual assault. Taitung prosecutors have ruled that victims can start applying as soon as a court case begins. But not all think this does enough to help victims.
但其实整个程序走完，他们才是完全脱离了这个司法的这个折磨，所以这一段当中的这个一路相伴，其实是非常需要的。
Victims may have an especially hard time recovering financially, since they may be stuck with the bill for any physical and psychological injuries they sustain. Advocates for victims' rights say scrapping basic fees is one place to start addressing this problem.
我们目前可以提供就是减免挂号费的部分。 那这是台东所有诊所协会的会员呢，都愿意共襄盛举。我们优惠的对象会包括他的直系血亲。
These advocates say the registration fee is only the first expense they want to cut for crime victims, ensuring those who've been wronged don't face additional financial pressures. Ethan Pan and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
In Taiwan, soul guiding is a traditional ritual that used to be performed at funerals. It's been dying out, but interest was revived after it featured in a popular musical last year. Now, one of the few remaining soul-guiding troupes has been invited to perform at the Cultural Olympiad in Paris. TaiwanPlus reporter Irsan Lai has more.
Unique music fills this courtyard in southern Taiwan. In the dim light, members of the Fengzhongden spirit guiding group, dressed in traditional costumes, rehearse for the upcoming Cultural Olympiad in Paris. Fengzhongden means lantern in the wind and symbolizes the warm guiding light that leads departed souls to the afterlife. The performance, known as soul guiding, is one of Taiwan's traditional funeral rites. It involves singing in Taiwanese Hokkien, dancing, and storytelling. This practice is believed to help lead the soul of the deceased through the underworld. It also serves as a form of grief counseling for the living. Accompanied by an electric sanxian, a modern twist to a traditional 3-stringed instrument, the troupe is performing a piece that tells the story of people who leave their homelands to come and settle in Taiwan. Originating in southern Taiwan, funeral songs were once a common burial ritual, but have become rarer as ceremonies were simplified, and fewer families today hire soul guiding groups. Fengzhongden is one of the few remaining troupes preserving traditional movements and music. Many young people in Taiwan didn't know about this unique tradition until a musical featuring soul guiding songs became popular in 2023. It quickly went from a fading ritual to a nationwide sensation, landing this art form a spot in Taiwan's Cultural Olympiad lineup.
咱台湾这个土地有足侪族群，在这几百年来族群的融合之下，伊有产生一寡在这块台湾土地生长出来的歌谣。 也是讲仪式。卡蒙瓜就是咱台湾非常特殊的一种办丧事的仪式，伊就是代表咱台湾人的感情，对亲人过身去迄个感情表达的方式，就是安尼。
The rehearsal tonight attracted a small audience, including not only Taiwanese, but also a French priest. Living in Taiwan for more than 10 years, Father Jean Dussanterre believes this unique art transcends language and culture and deserves to be appreciated by foreign audiences.
Moi, je les invite à observer, à se laisser un petit peu étonner par une autre tradition religieuse que celle qui est la plus répandue en Europe et en France.
The members of Fengzhongden have been singing funeral songs for decades, but they never imagined they could take their performance all the way to Paris.
相信这几年咱台湾在国际上的地位甲知名度嘛，有伊一定的存在啦。所以讲，希望讲这个演出会当吸引这的外国人来了解咱台湾无同款的一面。
The art of soul guiding may be uniquely Taiwanese, but the emotions it conveys are universal. Like a lantern in the wind, the warmth of the performance touches the hearts of people around the world. Alex Chen, PC Zhuang, and Yuchen Live for TaiwanPlus.
Marine biologists are installing floating coral nurseries in the Mediterranean. It's part of a project to restore native populations of an endangered coral species hit by climate change. Wesley Lewis takes a look.
These submerged nets off the coast of Cyprus are part of a coral conservation project. At just 5 meters below the surface, they're floating nurseries. Marine biologists glue small coral fragments to pins and secure them to the nets. The corals then spend a few weeks here before being transferred to a natural reef. This project is part of a pilot study to restore the local coral population.
We're going to deploy floating nurseries within 2 marine protected areas in Cyprus so that we can test whether it's working for the corals to be restored, to be nursed first, so that we can try to restore the communities that have been declining in recent years.
The native species of coral once thrived in the waters off the southeast coast of Cyprus, but now it's endangered. Conservationists plan to install over 100 coral fragments on these floating nurseries and observe how they acclimatize.
And then in a year's time, we will know basically if the corals are doing well on the nurseries or not. Hopefully they will be doing well. And then after that, we will collect the coral fragments and transplant them on natural reefs, on natural rocks.
Unsustainable human activity continues to be one of the main threats to this species. Conservationists say keeping young coral away from the shoreline offers them much-needed protection to grow.
We exclude the potential impact from tourism because this specific species, Clavogara gaspitosa, in Cyprus they're found in very shallow areas where tourists potentially can trample on them, can step on them.
Rising ocean temperatures also pose a threat. Biologists warn the coral population in the Mediterranean could decline by up to 80% within the next century, which would threaten the wider shallow water ecosystem.
I would like the future generations to be able to enjoy not just this species in particular, but the natural environment. And this is a key part, this is a key species to be able to support the rest of the biodiversity.
The researchers here are keeping a close eye on these nurseries, with the hope that the coral will grow strong enough to be introduced back to the seabed. Klein Wong and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with scenes of the 10th annual Blue Summer Paddle Race in Algeria. I'm Liao. Take care and see you next time.